Good morning, everyone. My name is Diane. I'm here with another tarot card reading. A lot of these tarot card readings, if they haven't already, are going to take on more of the tone of a tutorial. You know, it's kind of what I meant for in the beginning, is to try to teach whoever wanted to be taught kind of an informal course on tarot card reading, very open-ended. Doesn't really have an end, but it's just, that's why I just kind of keep going through these tarot card readings again and again, in regards to, the meanings, the intuitive, feelings you get off, one of these tarot card readings, that kind of thing. I also provide tarot card readings to clients, but for now, in this moment, we're focusing on, reading the cards and how to understand them. Now, pretty soon, likely in the next few videos, I'm going to start, working on the major arcana with you in terms of the definition of each card, as well as, the artwork, what it could mean. And of course, cards do have multiple meanings. You kind of have to go with your intuition as to each card, but we'll get more into that at that moment. And what we're going to do is like a video, or basically a TikTok video on each card. So there'll be more brief videos, but each one will review the meaning of the card and so on. Okay, but anyway, let's get back to this one. So we are going with another one of my favorite decks. As you know, I have a lot of favorites here. This one is the Goddess Tarot card. It does have some beautiful artwork, more so than the average. And what we're starting with here is the Nine of Wands, leading to the Six of Wands, then to Sacrifice, or this would be the Hangman in the Rider-Waite Tarot deck. Also the Queen of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords. So this first row that I'm looking at is basically showing a woman who's really on her guard. I mean, let's start with the Nine of Wands. It shows somebody who's really, feels like they need to be on their defensive or on their guard. They're hesitant to make a commitment to something. They want to, keep a firm boundary, whether that's a professional boundary at work, or a boundary at home, a boundary with one's partner, or a boundary with a friend. It's just, just depends. Then we have here the Six of Wands, again the Hangman, Queen of Pentacles, and Ten of Swords, to recap. So with those, I'd say this poor Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so the reason why I say this poor Queen of Pentacles is because, number one, she's waiting for something, and there's a sacrifice here. She's hanging in the balance. The Hangman is not a bad card, not whatsoever. It really points to the fact that somebody's, kind of in limbo. They're waiting for something to happen, but it's more like a spiritual or meditative type of waiting. They're at peace with the wait. They're okay with the wait. But on the other hand, we have kind of a conflicting card with that. The Ten of Swords, which is on the other side of the Queen of Pentacles. So Ten of Swords is pretty much one of the saddest cards to me in the tarot deck. It just means that this person may have problems with, severe depression. They may have just gone through a recent tragedy, or they may be approaching a breakup. But the good thing about the Ten of Swords is it's kind of like when you hit bottom. You can't go past it. There's no further beyond bottom. You've hit bottom, and the only way to go is back up. So that's kind of what we're looking at with this person. They are in sacrifice. They're in kind of this waiting state, and at some point they're going to hit bottom in terms of, their emotional life. I would say this does tend to, look more toward a partner maybe that they're going to be breaking up with soon. And again, you've got the Six of Wands, which actually looks like this is not such a bad breakup really for them. On one hand, they're sad about it, but on the other hand, they're kind of looking forward to it. So, that's what we're looking at with this whole first row. Sorry to kind of, go slowly on that one, but you got a lot going on there. Now, next row, Ace of Cups, Three of Cups, Two of Cups. And what I like seeing about that is that's a new beginning, and because it's lined up right next to our Three of Cups here. So we got Ace of Cups and Three of Cups. It means it's like a new beginning in friendship, which is a wonderful combination of cards to see. And as you go further from the Ace of Cups, Three of Cups, next up is the Two of Cups. So you know what that means? That means that you've started off with this person as a new friend, and eventually you have a close relationship with them. So Two of Cups is more of a romantic card. Now, keep in mind, that can mean a very close friendship with someone, but I would say that's more like someone you've known for a very long time. You've got like that strong bond with someone. Not to say that this Ace of Cups and Three of Cups couldn't develop into that type of Two of Cups friendship. But in this case, I suspect and intuit that this is more of like this relationship starts as friends and then moves on to something more, meaning the Two of Cups. So dating or a relationship. And this person is the one. So we've got Five of Pentacles, Prince of Swords, or to me, Knight of Swords, which would be in the Rider-Waite deck, Knight of Swords here. And then Nine of Pentacles. This is very interesting to me. This person's a little more money focused, but they're worried about money. They've got the Five of Pentacles on one side of them. But on the other hand, it shows that they have the Nine of Pentacles on the other side of them. So it means not only are they single, they do make decent money. It's just that they're constantly worried about it. You know, you got kind of two conflicting things here. We've got the Five of Pentacles on one side of the Prince of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles on the other. So they just have, you know, some worry about their finances, like not overly so, but it's just kind of in the back of their mind a lot of the time. But they shouldn't, because they're okay on money, but they don't feel like they are. Knight of Swords tends to be a guy who's more ruled by logic, you know, than I'd say emotions, like say the Knight of Cups. He is more, I'd say like, you know, very intelligent, you know, likes to talk or debate with people. But as we say, you know, I focus more on the logic when it comes to the swords. You know, they're not ruled by their emotions. They go more with the intellect and logic when it comes to their type of relationship. So that's what they're looking at with them. So again, you know, to recap here, you know, we've got a person that seems to be going through a lot here, the Queen of Pentacles. Then they meet up with somebody, a new friend here, and eventually it develops into a relationship, or at least dating. And then this is our person that they're dating. That is the Knight of Swords, who is kind of worried about money, but they really don't need to be, at least from my perspective. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for listening. And again, soon we will be having some video tutorials on the major arcana. We will be going by the Rider-Waite deck, which is this deck. So, you know, my advice would be, if you haven't, you know, if you don't have a, you know, tarot deck yet, but you want to learn and you want to use some of my videos to learn, great. You can choose really any tarot deck that you want. But I would suggest that if you've never done tarot before, start with this one. The Rider-Waite deck, or the Rider Tarot deck as they call it on this box, is just absolutely one of the most perfect decks you can start with. Mainly because when you look at the artwork of each card, it will show you pretty much the meaning without you even have to look it up. So that's one of the great advantages of the Rider-Waite or Rider Tarot deck. Each card is, you know, obvious in its meaning, usually, by the illustrations or artwork on the card. And we'll go over that more in the days ahead, you know, when I post more videos regarding the major arcana, and then later on versus the minor arcana. But yeah, we'll start with the major and we'll go from there. All right. Well, again, everybody have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for viewing this video. If you like the video and you'd like to see more videos, feel free to follow me and we'll just go from there. Okay. Take care. Bye.